Gemini, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Gemini love reading. Now, if this is your first time here and you have questions that you want answered about your romantic love life or your relationship, then start now by subscribing and clicking on that little bell icon so you always get notified anytime I post a new Gemini tarot reading for you. Let's get on with this Gemini love reading for May 2023, because today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. I'm going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in May 2023. Then I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Gemini, 3 cards for your person. And then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck, just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. Now, enough yakking, let's get on with this Gemini May 2023 love reading, and let's get one card for what is the mutual point of interest between Gemini and their romantic person of interest here in May 2023, please. Okay, let's get 3 cards for you, Gemini. What's going on with Gemini as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them here in May 2023? All right. Let's get 3 cards for your person. What is going on with Gemini's romantic person of interest as it relates to Gemini and the connection between them here in May 2023? Guess we're taking an extra one. Got some flip over in the deck here. Let's see what we have. I'll take those last 2 together so we don't turn this into a 2-hour-long ordeal here. Now you got more important stuff to do. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is the Hermit. This is Virgo's major arcana card. This is a card of withdrawal and isolation. This is about probably communication shutting down between the two of you. If it hasn't shut down completely, it's changed pretty dramatically. It's probably a lot less communicating than it used to be, much shorter and sweeter, so to speak. This is also a card about being forced inside yourself to do some soul searching or some deep inner reflection or some deep contemplation, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. It's about looking down in the shadows of yourselves, trying to uncover what might be going on inside you so you can make some adjustments to yourself and move forward from there. At this point, this is the overall gist of what it's going to talk to me about, so I don't know exactly who this applies to yet. I do have the 9 of Wands right underneath that. The Hermit is the 9 of the major arcana, so it rules over the 9s of the 4 suits of the deck. This is Sagittarius energy. This is an energy of being walled off and defensive. It's also an energy of healing. That's the wounded warrior, and he's built this wall around himself as like a defense mechanism because he's been hurt. It's like a way to protect himself so he doesn't continue to get hurt or so he doesn't get hurt again. He doesn't want to be hurt. He wants to heal so he can get his energy right and move forward on the next step in his journey. So I've got 2 energies here already that are insinuating moving forward. Probably some pain involved here. This could represent an obstacle that's in the way, but usually for me, this represents that someone has been hurt and their walls are up now. Could be why we're seeing some communication changes here. I have the Queen of Cups right under that. This is Cancer energy. This represents that there's a lot of love and emotions between the two of you, or that one of you has a lot of love and emotions for the other one. The Queen of Cups usually is very guarded with her emotions. She's very in touch with her emotions, and in her intuition, she's in tune with that too. But in a standard tarot deck, she's the only character that has a lid on top of her cup. And she does that as a way to protect her emotions from getting contaminated. She doesn't want anything to get in her emotions and mess her all up. So she's usually pretty guarded with her emotions. But what she really wants to do is pour her love and emotions into someone. So there's definitely an underlying element of love and emotions here. Also an underlying element of someone having probably been hurt. Like the Hermit card, this is usually not an energy that people voluntarily choose to go into. Well, it does happen sometimes, but most of the time, this is something that you get forced into. Usually what forces you into that is like the Tower, like where something comes apart in your life, or the 10 of Swords where there's an ending to something, or the 5 of Swords where there's like a a betrayal or a big fight, or Seven of Swords where they're sneaking around in deception. There's any number of things that can cause someone to go into hermit mode. It's usually not something that we do on purpose. It's something that kind of gets forced upon us. That's the overall gist of what it looks like this is going to talk to me about. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in May 2023. It doesn't always affect you both exactly the same way. Sometimes it's a case of they did or said something and now you're feeling or acting this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it's a case of they did this and you're feeling the ramifications of it, or vice versa. Sometimes it legitimately is some external energy that's affecting you both. But the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in May 2023 is the Queen of Wands. This is either Aries or Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what she wants. She's not really the kind of person that's going to take no for an answer. Not only does she know what she wants, she knows what she deserves and what she's worth, and she usually doesn't accept less than that. This can represent that there is a lot of passion and desire between the two of you. I've seen this Queen of Cups here, and now I've got a Queen of Wands. We could be talking about two different feminine energies here, or we could be talking about two different parts of, two different aspects of this, where there's love and emotions that are wanting to be given out to each other. There could be a lot of passion and desire for each other. Let's clarify this Queen of Wands and see what else we can find out. Tell me more about the Queen of Wands. Why is that the mutual point of interest between Gemini and their romantic person of interest here in May 2023, please? On the bottom of the deck, Seven of Swords. I mentioned this when I said the number of different things that typically cause someone to go into hermit mode, and here we have it. This is Aquarius energy. It's got three distinct meanings. I'm going to give all of them to you. You take it how it resonates for you. The first one, the most common one, is lying, cheating, stealing, deception, sneaking around behind backs, trying to get away with something that someone shouldn't be trying to get away with. Usually not a good sign. The other meanings to this can be self-preservation, as in not wanting to be hurt. We've seen this Nine of Wands here, an energy of someone walling themselves off as a defense mechanism because they've been hurt and they don't want to continue to get hurt or get hurt again. This can represent that same type of an energy of not wanting to be hurt, because the reason the guy is stealing the Five Swords on the card is because he doesn't want to be hurt by those swords. The Five of Swords is also something I mentioned that can put you into hermit mode, which is like a betrayal of some kind or some mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. He's stealing the Five Swords because he doesn't want to feel the pain of that. He doesn't want the swords used against him to hurt him. It can also represent leaving something behind, because he can only carry 5 swords and he has to leave these other 2 swords behind. So it can represent leaving something behind. Speaking of the 2 swords, there's the 2 of Swords right behind the 7 of Swords. This is Libra energy. 2s are decisions or choices. This is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet. Sometimes it's because there's not enough information to make the decision. Sometimes it's because someone can't see something yet, hence the blindfold on the person on the card. Sometimes it's a case of someone not wanting to see something, hence the blindfold on the card. Like the lady's trying to decide between these 2 swords. She could easily lay one down and take the damn blindfold off, and she would have an easy decision because then she could see what's right in front of her. But the person is not taking the blindfold off, which can represent someone not wanting to see something or not wanting something to be true. And if it's true, then that changes things for me. So I need to not look at that. It's like having the blinders on and leaving the blinders on purpose, and that can stop a decision from being made. Right under that is the Empress. This is the mother of the tarot deck. She is perpetually pregnant, so she's always giving birth to something. In a love reading for me, she represents the birth of something new, although at times she can represent the rebirth of a connection here. But this is looking like a new connection. I've got what appears to be sneaky, deceptive behavior, a decision that needs made that hasn't been made, or someone not wanting to see the sneaky, deceptive behavior, not wanting to see that there has been a new beginning here. Could be that there has been some sneaking around and a new beginning birthed, and someone has a decision to make and they're just not making it. Son of a biscuit. I was getting called to go to the next card. So I did Queen of Wands. That is the card I'm clarifying right now. So anytime I'm clarifying a card and I get the same card in the clarifying story, that's the universe just beating me over the head to make sure I understand it so I can relay it to you. And they're like, dude, I done told you. There's some hot, sexy, vivacious person here where there's passion and desire toward them. There's a lot of probably sexual energy involved here. You're a Gemini. You're an air sign. Not saying that you can't be sexy and vivacious and attractive and good looking and fun to be around and all the stuff that the Queen of Wands can represent. I'm not saying that one bit. I'm just saying this is feeling like we got something else going on that I don't know if maybe you don't see yet, or maybe you don't want to see that, or if maybe your person now has a choice to make between you and this Queen of Wands person and they're just not making the choice. When I clarify the Queen of Wands, I get the Fool, the World, and the Hanged Man. All three of these clarifiers are major arcana cards. This is very powerful energy. The overall energy of the reading is also a major arcana card. We've got a lot of significant energy here at play in this connection for May 2023. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana, card 0. It's the first card of the entire tarot deck. It represents a new beginning to something. It can also represent someone who like takes the blind leap of faith on something. Like they don't need to know what all the steps are from beginning to end before they take the first step. It's someone who doesn't need to know what the final outcome or end result is going to be before they take the first step. They just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it. And they leap off the cliff. And they're going to worry about how to grow wings on their way down. They'll worry about figuring this out as I move along. Now, on the negative end of things, this can represent someone who's displaying foolish behavior, risk-taking behavior, taking risks outside of the connection between the two of you, potentially with this Queen of Wands character or this sneaky, deceptive stuff going on. Central to the clarifiers, I have the World, which, wow, is the final card of the major arcana. So I've got the very first card of the major arcana. The next card that came out is the final card of the major arcana. This represents a complete cycle between the two of you, the full shebang from beginning to end. The World is a completion card. It represents the completion of one cycle and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle, which would start you right back over at the Fool again. Some cycle is coming to an end. Oh man. The Hanged Man is next. This is Pisces energy of progress being halted. There is no forward movement. Things are stuck. They're stagnant. They're at a dead stop, standstill. Now, the Hanged Man is hanging upside down because he's trying to look at things from a different perspective, a different point of view than he would normally look at things from. And he's doing that, trying to figure out how to get unstuck so that things can move forward from here. How do I move forward from here? The Hermit and the Hanged Man are similar energies in the sense that they're both really about trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. The real key difference here between these two energies is where is the focus when I'm trying to figure out how to move forward. In the Hermit, the focus is directed internally. You're looking inside yourself, trying to look through the shadows of yourself and uncover the things that might be hiding in the shadows. What are the things that I need to adjust about me so that I can move forward from here? And in the Hanged Man, he's looking at things from a different perspective, looking at things, trying to figure out, how do I get this unstuck? So this is someone who's looking external to them, looking at the things that have me stuck, the other people that have me stuck, the situations that have me stuck, the circumstances that have me stuck. It's not looking at myself for what do I need to adjust about me. It's looking out here at like, what do all of you need to adjust so that I can move forward? Sometimes this can be an energy of somebody playing the blame game, where things have come to an end because they started a new beginning and somehow that's your fault that they did that. Somehow it's your fault that I did this lying and sneaking around. And if you wouldn't have said what you said, then I wouldn't have done this. Or if you didn't ignore me the other day, then I wouldn't have done this. Like somehow this is not my fault that I did what I did. It's your fault that I did what I did. I see that a lot. I hope that's not the case. That's the shared energy affecting both of you here in May 2023. It's not uncommon at this early stage in the reading that I don't fully understand exactly what this is trying to tell me. I will come back to this again as I go through your energy, Gemini, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again as I go through your person's energy, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy between you here in May 2023, Gemini. Your energy is the Three of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Star. The Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. This is an energy, it's supposed to be an energy of teamwork and collaboration and working together as equals to build something of value. The thing of value that you would typically build in the Three of Pentacles is the Ten of Pentacles, like maximum stability and abundance and prosperity. It's like the combining together of lives in the physical world, where we're blending our lives together and building a life together. That's typically what you would be building together here with this Three of Pentacles energy. The difference here with this deck is there's only one person on the card. They're not working together with someone. They're working by themselves to build something. Where there should be this element of working together, there's really not. This would appear that you're working by yourself to build something, and your person's not showing up the same way that you are. Tell me more about the Three of Pentacles. Why is that the first card here in Gemini's energy in May 2023, please? Taking you too. Okay, we'll do that. Normally I get 3 clarifiers. I just got 5 for this. So like a person's first card is always the most important card for them. Clearly it's the most important one for you. You just got 5 clarifiers. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Wands. This is Leo energy of recognition. Sometimes this can be you recognizing something about your person. Sometimes this could be you recognizing something about yourself. Sometimes it could be you being recognized for something. It's feeling much more like you coming to some sort of a recognition about something here. And whatever you're recognizing is allowing forward movement to take place. And right under that we have Justice. Suddenly my throat feels like it's closing off. Justice is the Libra Major Arcana card. It's the most powerful card of balance in the whole deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The sword in this card is used to sever something that's not in balance, so balance can be restored, and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. Like, once we get rid of this thing that's not in balance, then what's supposed to happen can happen. Just the fact that this card is here tells me something unfair and unbalanced and unjust has occurred, or there would be no need for justice to show up here to let me know something's going on like that. Looks like we're recognizing something unfair going on, recognizing a need for balance, recognizing a need to balance this back out. King of Swords is right under that. This is either Gemini or Aquarius energy. This is a decision-making energy. It's someone who's very smart and very logical and very rational and reasonable, and usually someone who's pretty fair. It can also be someone who feels like very emotionally detached, or someone who's very emotionally distant, cold and calculated even, because the King of Swords, when he makes his decisions, he does not consult his emotions whatsoever. He doesn't consult his intuition. He throws all that stuff out the window, and he's going to make his decisions based on logic and reason and the truth and the facts of the matter, and what can I see right in front of me? What do I know to be true? I'm going to decide based on that, and I'm not going to let my emotions get involved in any way. Very, very similar kind of energies here with that. Okay, I gotta go to that one too. Right behind the King of Swords is the King of Pentacles. This is either Virgo or Taurus energy. This is one half of the equation that builds the Ten of Pentacles. The other half would be the Queen of Pentacles. So I've got the Queen of Cups in the overall energy. I've got the Queen of Wands out here in the shared energy. It's funny, I've seen 2 kings. Neither of them are counterparts here. This would typically represent the husband figure or the stable, committed person that's building their life around me, building a world with me. I don't have the Queen of Pentacles out here. I'm clarifying a card that's supposed to represent teamwork and collaboration in terms of building the Ten of Pentacles. Well, the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles are the people that typically do this Three of Pentacles routine to build the Ten of Pentacles. And I've only got one of you out here. This is looking to me like your person has a decision to make. I saw the Two of Swords when I clarified this Queen of Wands, a decision to make that hasn't been made yet. Looks like they're the one that hasn't made this decision yet. This could indicate that you guys at some point were married or lived together, or were at least going down the path toward that. Apparently there's no communication happening between the two of you. Oh, I've got the Lovers right behind that. This is Gemini's Major Arcana card. This represents a powerful love connection between two people. Can also represent a choice about the love connection. A long time ago, before this card was called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice. So it can represent a choice in the love connection, can represent a choice between lovers. I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but we've seen Justice already, and now we're seeing the Lovers. Well, the Lovers is central to your person's energy. Justice is one of the final cards that came out for them. The Ten of Pentacles we've alluded to a couple of times already. That's their first card. So I'm seeing mirroring happening here, where things that are being told to me on your side of the table are already out here in your person's side of the table. This is looking like a recognition of something unfair happening, that someone needs to make, your person needs to make a decision either about this connection or about more than one person. Could be why something new has started, which has ended a cycle between the two of you and got things hung up where there is no forward progress happening here. When I clarify the Three of Pentacles, I get the Six of Cups, Nine of Wands again, the Two of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Six of Cups is Scorpio energy of the past. It's thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, thinking about the good old days and the way things used to be between the two of you. It can represent a very deep emotional connection between the two people that has a lot of history to it. This can even represent someone from the past making a comeback. We are in Mercury retrograde right now. Not uncommon for someone that you used to be with to show back up, trying to get back in. This could be that something ended between the two of you in the past, and now there's this person showing back up, maybe trying to balance things out here. This could represent, if we're talking about, like, even though I'm looking at your energy right now and your first card is the most important for you, it's very common in my readings that your first card ends up actually telling me more about what your person has done and how it's affecting you. So this could even represent someone from their past has shown back up, or someone, could be even this Queen of Wands person here, that they have some history with already. Whether that means they used to be with them before you, it could mean that. It doesn't have to be that. It could just represent that it's someone that they already know on some level. It's not a brand new person. Got the Nine of Wands next, which we have already seen right here in the overall energy behind the Hermit. This is Sagittarius energy of being walled off and defensive. Again, wounded warrior. He's been hurt, hence the wall he's built around himself. It's a way to protect himself so he doesn't continue to get hurt again. This could just be, hey, we were building something together, and now you're feeling more like you're building it by yourself, and you're doing a lot of reminiscing about the past, and you're hurt, and you're walled off and defensive here. Could be that. Two of Cups is next. This is Cancer energy. Twos are always decisions or choices. So this, yes, represents a love connection between the two of you, but it also represents a decision about that love connection, or a decision between more than one cup of love here. Could be what has you hurt as well. Then I've got the Three of Pentacles, which again is the card I'm clarifying, and you can see what I mean by the difference here. You can see the people on the card that are exhibiting teamwork, and they're working together, and they're building something of value. And here, the card that came out for you is you're building something by yourself. Final clarifier for you is the Seven of Cups. So we started out with the Six of Cups, Scorpio energy, and now by the end of this column, the energy has progressed forward one notch to the Seven of Cups, which is also Scorpio energy. This is an energy of options and choices and confusion about the options and choices. There's a lot of cups here. There's a lot of different things you could choose to do, a lot of different ways this scenario could play itself out, and a lot of emotions involved. And you're not wanting to make a mistake and pick the wrong cup here, which can result in confusion, especially emotional confusion. The clouds of smoke that are all around these cups here can represent clouded decision making, clouded judgment, obscured vision, someone like emotionally confusing you. So now you're not able to make some sort of a choice here. This could even just represent that your person has options other than you. During a time when you were working together as equals, they could have brought in another cup of love. They could have started something new here and ended the cycle between the two of you, halted progress with you. You could be recognizing the unfairness of this whole situation, which could be why you're hurt and walled off, and it could be why you're doing a lot of reminiscing about the past. Central to your energy for May 2023, Gemini, is the Eight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest moving energy in the deck. So this is very fast forward movement. It can represent rapid back and forth passionate communication. It can represent rapid forward movement or progress on something there's a lot of passion and desire for. It can represent travel. It can also represent just a whole lot of energy coming at you all at one time, where it would feel very overwhelming. It's like too much to handle, too much to process. It would be like trying to take a drink of water out of a fire hose. It's just too much. It'll blow your head off. Tell me more about the Eight of Wands, please. Why is that here central to Gemini's energy in May 2023? Let's get one more. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, the Empress. Again, this is the mother of the tarot deck. She's perpetually pregnant. She's always giving birth to something. She represents the birth of something new. You could be very overwhelmed by the birth of something new. You could be overwhelmed by thinking about the past and wondering if we can rebirth this connection. It's not. It's the birth of something new, because there's the Seven of Swords right behind it. Again, Aquarius energy. Lying, cheating, deception, sneaking around behind your back, trying to get away with something in terms of birthing something new. It can, like I said, represent not wanting to be hurt. I do see you having your walls up, trying to protect yourself. In both decks, that card is out here. It's right here under the Hermit. It can also represent leaving something behind. And we definitely have had a new beginning start and the ending of a cycle here. And it looks like progress between the two of you has halted. So this could be your person leaving you behind. It could be any of those things. It could actually be all of those at the same time. And it's just different layers to the story. But there's definitely been the birth of something new. There's definitely been some sneaky, shady stuff going on. And there's that Two of Swords again, Libra energy of a decision that needs made, only it hasn't been made yet. Either because there's not enough information to decide, someone can't see something yet, or there's something going on like this that maybe you don't want to see. You don't want that to be true, because if that's true, then it changes everything for you. But that's preventing a decision from being made. Take that part however it resonates. Yeah, I feel like there's something you don't want to see. I don't think you want to believe that there's been the birth of something new and this sneaky deceptiveness. The Ace of Wands is behind that Two of Swords. This is a passionate new beginning in passion and desire. I've got a new beginning here where someone just probably displaying foolish behavior and taking risks outside of the connection with the Queen of Wands, which is one of the highest cards in terms of passion and desire. And here I've got a new beginning in passion and desire. This is also the phallic symbol of the tarot deck. It represents the male phallus, using it to be intimate, sexual energy, sex. And then there's the Hermit right behind that. That's the overall energy of the reading. This is what has forced you into Hermit mode. You're doing some soul searching here, trying to figure out what to adjust about yourself in terms of how to move forward from here. It's looking like communication has stopped between the two of you. When I clarify this Eight of Wands, this overwhelming amount of energy, I get the Ace of Swords, Strength, and Temperance. And I'm fighting off a yawn now. That's twice I've done that since I've been to this card. I'm fighting off a yawn. That's usually a good sign that you are overwhelmed, that you're probably worn out and exhausted. This Ace of Swords, this is the sword of victory, which doesn't feel like that at all. It's the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's also the sword you would use to sever something that's not in balance, like we saw with the Justice card. It's also the sword you would use to make a decision with. Throat closing off again. There's some truth here that you probably don't have the facts on. There's something that either someone's lying to you about or they're not telling you something. That's why my throat's closing off, my throat chakra. This can be the sword you make a decision with. I've seen the Two of Swords twice now where there's a decision that needs made and it's not being made. So I don't believe this is a decision on your end. Maybe it is. This could also be the sword you use to sever a relationship with. So this is either the truth is coming out for you right now, and maybe you didn't have the truth yet. Maybe you didn't see what's going on yet, and maybe you're just now getting it. Maybe you did make a decision to sever this connection, probably rapidly, and you're still dwelling on it. You're still thinking about the past and reminiscing about this with the person. It's also entirely possible that you're overwhelmed because they severed the connection with you based on them having birthed something new, and maybe you weren't aware of that. When I clarified the Eight of Wands, the second clarifier is strength. This is the Leo Major Arcana card. This card tells me that you're going through a very difficult decision that's incredibly hard to make it through, and you're being forced to dig down deep inside yourself and tap into all your internal strength just to make it through this. It means you have the internal strength to make it through it. You're just kind of being forced to dig down inside yourself and find it and tap into it. This can also sometimes represent a person who's trying to tame that beast inside themselves, where they're trying to rein themselves in and hold themselves back and not let themselves do anything too hasty or harsh and do what they feel like would be some kind of a mistake. So it could represent trying to hold that piece of yourself back. It could even represent that your person has struggled against that. It could be that you're trying to hold yourself back from seeing the truth of this because you may not want to believe that's the truth. I do have right beside that strength card you being walled off, but also hurt at the same time. Final clarifier here for the Eight of Wands is Temperance. This is the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. I feel like I've said Sagittarius quite a bit. I've said Scorpio a couple of times. I've said Libra a few times. Leo a few times. You got Pisces out here. I think I've said Virgo and Taurus. You could be dealing with any of those signs. I mean, you could literally be dealing with any sign. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you were dealing with specifically, because I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person the same way I would if I were doing a personal reading for you where it's just you and I. I'm tapping into collective energy of like thousands of Gemini people all at once. So I'm just going to continue to call out all the signs as they stick out to me, just in case they mean anything to you. But this is Sagittarius energy. This is an energy of patience. It's about not being in a hurry or a rush. It's about blending two things together to make something new, but being willing to do that a little bit at a time, to the point where you can take a step back and look at the big picture of like, how is all this working, before you come back in to like blend a little more together and make some fine-tuning adjustments to that. It can also represent reconciliation energy. In tarot, water represents love and emotions, and here the water, the love, has been separated into two different cups, and this angel is blending it back together, like recombining the love. So it can represent that. I do have you thinking about the past with them and the history of the connection. Right beside Temperance, I have the Two of Cups, which again is a love connection between the two of you. It's also a decision about the love connection, or a decision between more than one person happening here. You could be overwhelmed because there's the truth, but this is very difficult because of the history here, and this could be you wanting to reconcile with them, or being willing to be patient to see what happens as this moves forward, even though right now it's not actually moving. The final card for you, Gemini, is the Star. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of healing, a card of hope, a card of wish fulfillment. In a love reading, this can indicate that at some point in time you viewed this other person as the one for you. doesn't mean that they are the one for you. It just means that you could have viewed them that way. You could have had that belief. This is also card 17 of the major arcana. Card 16, the one right before this in the sequence, is the Tower. So you don't make it to the star energy without going through a Tower moment of some kind first, where something important in your life, some important structure in your life has collapsed right in front of you. It's like a foundation rocking event, like a game changer. When the Tower happens, nothing is the same as it was the day before that. And when that occurs, it's really hard to see the path moving forward from that. This is the guiding light from the universe that shows up after the collapse of the Tower to light the way for you so you can see your path moving forward. This is literally where hope comes from. It's where healing comes from. So this can represent that you are going through the healing stages after the collapse of this relationship. You're probably still in hermit mode right now. You're still walled off and defensive and hurt, and underlying all that, you still have love and emotions for this person. You still feel the connection with this person. You might still be trying to make a choice about this connection, but then there is also this recognition element behind that. You recognizing something. Got the 10 of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles here. Oh, man. Oh, man. I guess I didn't go deep enough. I really am feeling like you're wanting to, heal this connection because you believe it's the 10 of Cups with them. That's probably the belief that collapses in the Tower. The Tower is not always just the end of a relationship. Sometimes it can be the collapse of a belief system, like this mental model of the world you were operating from, where you believed this was my happily ever after. This was my fairy tale love connection. This was the one for me. Here I am seeing you as the Queen of Pentacles showing up here, which we've alluded to. The King and the Queen of Pentacles do this working together as equals to build the 10 of Pentacles, but you're working by yourself here. Got the 10 of Pentacles out here in your person's energy. I've seen them show up under the surface as the King of Pentacles, but it was after sneaky deceptive behavior, being cold and disconnected emotionally, some decision they had to make. This would not indicate that you are supposed to be with them and that they are your happily ever after. This is much more indicating that at some point in time, you believed that about this connection. That's the negative aspect of the 10 of Cups that most readers will never tell you about. They almost always view this as a strictly positive card. And a lot of times it is. It does mean like that happy fairy tale love connection we all dream about, that we all want. It's most people's goal in love and relationships. But the negative aspect of it is that fairy tale component. Because we all want that so badly, a lot of times we'll convince ourselves that this connection that I'm in is the 10 of Pentacles. This is my happily ever after. This is the true love person that I'm supposed to be with. And that can cause us to ignore some things, like leave the blinders on and choose not to see the lies or the sneakiness or the deception that they do to us. Like it can cause us to sweep red flags under the rug and pretend like we didn't see those, because if we accept those things as being true, that automatically invalidates this and makes this not true. I've got you here right behind it as the other half of this equation. And underneath that, I've got the 4 of Cups, which is unhappiness. It's being emotionally discontent and not happy with what you have right in front of you, to the point that you're daydreaming about this other cup, this other thing that you believe would lead you to your happiness and fulfillment. There's a piece of you that believed this was your one, that this was the connection you were supposed to be in, but even underlying that belief is an element of you not being fully happy with it, like something was missing from it, and you were waiting on that missing piece to just show up and everything to be okay. This is really feeling like you have the hope still that this can be healed and put back together. Tell me about the star, please. Why is the star here in Gemini's energy? Yeah. On the bottom of the deck, King of Swords. We saw this already. This is Gemini or Aquarius energy. Feeling the yawn happen again. This is draining you. Again, very cold, calculated decision maker, someone who's very emotionally distant, emotionally detached when they make their decisions. They're not caring about what you feel or even what they feel. They're looking at, what do I know to be true? What's right in front of me? What are the facts here? And I'm going to decide based on that and that alone. Justice. This is an unfair, unjust decision that they have made here. There's something that has been unfair and unjust occur, and there is a need to balance that out. Six of Wands. Leo energy of recognition. I don't know if I told you that Justice card is Libra energy. Recognizing something. Either this is feeling like you recognizing something unfair about your person during a time when they probably felt very emotionally distant and detached from you. Yeah, and what's being recognized here is the Lovers. Gemini's major arcana card. This is a powerful connection. Again, this is not God or spirit or source or the divine or the universe or however you look at that. It's not information they're sending me that is saying this is their twin flame or their soulmate or the person that they're supposed to be with. That's not what this says at all. What this is saying is that at some point in time you believed that, which is why it's showing up in your energy over here. It also is a choice because it used to be called the choice. So this is, again, a choice about this love connection. And it looks like the decision authority power here lies with your person, not with you. And there's something unfair about this. And it looks like what's unfair is there's also a choice between more than one lover. And you are now recognizing this. When I clarify the star, I get the Queen of Cups, the King of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. This is heavy. Queen of Cups is right here, third card down in the overall energy. You can see what I was telling you about here, where she has the lid on her cup. Yes, there's love and emotions here between the two of you. Yes, you want to give your love and emotions to this person, but you're also guarding your emotions. You've been hurt before. Your emotions have been contaminated, hence the lid on the cup to protect that against happening again. But it does indicate that what you really want to do is take that lid off your cup and pour your love and emotions into this person. Only beside that, there has been a severing and probably some truth come out that has led to a severing. And there's this energy of the past, thinking about it, reminiscing about it, thinking about the good old days when you didn't have to have a lid on your cup and you could just pour yourself into this person before this severing had occurred. Next, I have the King of Pentacles, which again, I saw that at one point in the story on the bottom of the deck representing your person as the other half of the equation. Again, if I go deeper into this overall energy, I get to that Queen of Pentacles there, which again is you and this is them. But look how much has got buried on top of you. You're buried beneath a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't look pleasant. There's a lot of cards in between where you are and where they are. There is definitely a distance between the two of you. This can represent, like I said, a husband or that stable, committed person that I'm building my life around or building their life around me, however you want to view that. Other half of the Ten of Pentacles where we've combined lives together and there's some very difficult situation tied to them that's requiring all of your internal strength to make it through. And then there's this energy of you having been hurt and being walled off and defensive to protect yourself from being hurt again. The final clarifier for the star is the Nine of Swords. This is Gemini energy of fear, worry, anxiety, thinking about this and over again with all this fear and worry behind your thinking and doing that to the point that it's stressing you out. I've got you being overwhelmed here. I've got you doing all of this thinking and being stressed out, which is explaining to me why I'm fighting off the yawns and why I'm feeling so drained now. This is a card of mental anguish. This is sleepless nights. It's nightmares. It's like I can't fall asleep. I can't stay asleep. I can't eat. I can't concentrate on what the hell I'm trying to do because my mind is out of control right now and it's preoccupied with all this stuff that I'm afraid of and worried about. You can see the person on the card has their eyes covered because the situation is so bad in their mind that they don't want to face it. They don't want to look at what's in front of them here. This is at least the second time that I've felt like there's stuff going on that initially you didn't want to see because you didn't want it to be true. So you probably tried to like sweep it under the rug and pretend like it wasn't. And now there's still this energy present of trying to reconcile with this person, having the hope that this can be healed and having the hope that I can take my lid off of my cup and pour my love into them, even though there is no progress happening, even though there has been a new beginning and an ending to this cycle and the beginning of a new one that's halted progress for you. There's still this element of being worried and fearful about whether or not we can heal this. Maybe even being worried and fearful about should I even have the hope of that or not. And this element of probably you not wanting to look at something related to them or this connection. Or possibly even yourself, even though I've got the Hermit out here, which would indicate soul searching and deep inner reflection and looking in the shadows of yourself to figure out what adjustments you need to make. Very heavy feeling energy, Gemini. I hate being the bearer of bad news, but I've got to tell you the truth of what I see and what I feel as I'm doing this, because it's not my job to tell people what they want to hear. I know that you get that from a lot of readers where they twist every single card around to make it a happy, positive thing. And I can see why they do that, but they're not really helping anyone that way. You can't really help anybody unless you're willing to tell them the truth. Like, to me, when someone lies to you and makes something sound way cooler than it really is, that's not love. That's like, it's coming from the right place sometimes, but it's not love because it's not helping you. I'm trying to help you get the clarity and the insight that you need so that you can, analyze this stuff, so you can make the best decision for you and your own greatest good. And I can't help you do that if I'm not willing to tell you the truth. That's your energy in this connection for May 2023, Gemini. Let's take a look at your person's energy. They have the 10 of Pentacles. The Lovers is central to their energy. And then these two came out at the end. Justice and the Knight of Swords. 10 of Pentacles. We've talked about this a few times already. Maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. This idea of combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and resources. It's like combining lives together in the physical world. A lot of times this will represent living together or being married or going down the path towards something like that. Tell me about the 10 of Pentacles. Why is that the first card for Gemini's person, please? Bottom of the deck. Ace of Wands. New beginning in passion and desire. Passion and new beginning. Phallic symbol of the tarot deck. The male phallus, using it to be intimate. Sexual energy. Sex. This type of a thing occurred during a time when you guys were actually physically together. Whether that means you were married or living together or just in a committed relationship where you were together most of the time, that's when this occurred. Can't make it up. Empress. The birth of something new. The birth of a new connection. 7 of Swords. Aquarius energy. Lying, cheating, deception, sneaking around behind your back, trying to get away with something they shouldn't have been trying to get away with, as in birthing something new somewhere else, following their wand. 2 of Swords. A decision that needs made by this person, only they didn't make the decision. a lot of times this will be like, well, I don't want to decide, so I'm going to choose not to decide. But that's still a choice. This is probably someone who kept the blindfold on you and kept you in the dark about it, like deceptive lies, like trying to make it so that a decision can't be made. A lot of times this will be a person that's like, well, can't I just have both of you? When I clarify the 10 of Pentacles, I get 5 of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. Wow. 5 of Wands is Leo energy. Fives are conflict. Wands are about passion and desire. Good Lord. It's happening again. This would be a conflict in the desires, like an internal conflict about what it is that this person actually wants, where a piece of them wants one thing and another piece of them wants pretty much the opposite of that. And they're playing this internal battle of tug of war inside what it is that they actually want. I see clearly what that's about. Next card is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are messengers. So this is news and messages and communications about some physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself. Most of the time for me, this represents planning for the future or being at like the early stages of a plan for the future. When I follow this across the aisle here, it's directly beside King of Pentacles. We're clarifying 10 of Pentacles, which is built by the King and the Queen. The final clarifier in this column is the Queen of Pentacles. They're torn about their plan for the future. They're torn about who they want their life combined with. It looks like during the time when you guys were combined together, whether that's married or living together or just together all the time, that's when this passionate new beginning was birthed. The sneaky deceptive behavior was birthed. A decision that needs made, son of a bitch, that didn't get made. Right behind that is the moon. Fear, worry, anxiety. It also represents something being hidden in the dark, a secret being kept. This person was doing this stuff behind your back and keeping it a secret from you. The decision they had to make that they weren't making was between the two of you. The thing they were torn about, where a piece of them still wanted you and being with you, and another piece of them also wanted this passionate new beginning and to birth something new with this Queen of Wands person here, which is, again, the shared energy affecting you both in May 2023. They started a new beginning, which ended the cycle of this connection between the two of you, and that's why the brakes are on here. That's why things are hung up and not moving, and there's no progress happening. Definitely had a plan for the future with this Queen of Wands, even though they were in a commitment with you. And here we are again, you guys on opposite sides of the table, a whole lot of stuff between the two of you, stuff that's not pleasant. Central to your person's energy is the Lovers. This is Gemini's Major Arcana card. Again, powerful connection here, but it used to be called the Choice before it was called the Lovers. So it represents a choice in a powerful connection, represents a choice between more than one lover, which is clearly what is going on here. Tell me more about the Lovers, please. Why is that central to Gemini's person's energy? You cannot make it up. Where'd you go? See again why I'm feeling so drained. Bottom of the deck. 6 of Wands. Leo energy of recognition. This is either your person being recognized for something or them recognizing something. I saw this on your side a couple of times. Pretty sure if I follow it far enough, if I follow the overall energy far enough down, 5 cards deep, there's that recognition again. They're getting recognized for having more than one lover here. Also getting recognized as the Knight of Pentacles. This is the slowest knight in the deck. Very slow forward movement, monotonous energy. Like, this is frustrating energy. It'd be like trying to watch a flower grow, where you could wake up early in the morning and stare at that flower literally all day long until you go to bed at night, and it looks like no movement happened at all. Movement did happen, You just can't tell from where you sit that movement's happening. It's like that saying, the watched pot never boils. Well, you can stare at a flower all day and you don't see anything happening. But if you put a time-lapse camera on it and a couple days later you watch the time-lapse footage, you can see the flower actually was growing. It's just at such a slow pace you can't tell. That can be what's going on here. This could be you're expecting something from this person and it's happening so slow it looks like nothing's happening. That's not really what I'm feeling at all, especially considering I've got that 8 of Wands in the center of your energy, second fastest energy in the deck. Getting ahead of myself here, but I've got the fastest energy in the deck and the third fastest energy in the deck right here in this column of cards. So the other meaning to the Page of Pentacles, there's my throat closing off again, is a person who knows what they're supposed to do but doesn't do it for some reason. He's got the Ace of Pentacles right there in his hand. It's the seed of abundance. He knows he has it. He's holding it. It's right in front of his face. He's looking right at it. He's well aware that he has the seed of abundance in his hand. But the fields behind him are completely empty. They're barren because he hasn't planted the seed yet. Even though he knows he has it and he knows that's what he's supposed to do, he hasn't done it. And to me, that counts both ways. When a person knows what they're supposed to do and doesn't do it, it counts. When a person knows what they're not supposed to do, like, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, still counts for me. When I clarify the Lovers, I get the Devil, the Chariot, the Knight of Swords. Getting ahead of myself, but in their next card that I'm going to clarify, I've got that unfair, unjust thing taking place, and the Knight of Swords. The Devil is Capricorn's major arcana card. This is usually very heavy, very toxic energy, which is why I'm feeling so drained again. On your side, you're overwhelmed with everything. You're stressed the hell out. And you probably don't really still know what to do moving forward from here. On their side, I'm being drained because there's some toxicity here. See it happening again. This is obsession or addiction, or sometimes a feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like there's something I can't escape from, like something's in control of me and I don't have any control over it. This can represent that there's a very strong physical, like sexual attraction between two people and I can't break away from that. These are the same two people from the Lovers card. We've saw the Lovers and the clarifiers on your side. I'm actually clarifying the Lovers right now. This would indicate a toxic relationship between the two of you. Like, even though you may have felt like they're the one for you, that this is the person for you, the one that you're, quote, supposed to be with, that is not the case at all. This is a toxic relationship, which again is probably a piece of the thing that you didn't want to see and didn't want to look at here. Kind of walling yourself off from that. Because of course, none of us wants to believe that. We all want to believe that the relationship I'm in is that happy fairy tale romance that I've always dreamed of, that this is the one for me. And hear how my throat's closing off again? That's not the case here. This is a toxic relationship here. This person has either some toxic elements to them under the surface, or they have someone toxic in their environment here. That's the thing about the Queen of Wands too. Yes, she knows exactly what she wants and she goes after it. And she doesn't take no for an answer, which on the positive side is a real go-getter kind of an energy. I'm not going to let these little obstacles get in my way. I'm not going to just give up. I'm going to get what I want. The negative side of that is it can be the type of person who's like, ooh, damn, he's hot. And somebody else is like, yeah, but he's married, or yeah, but he's got a girlfriend, or yeah, he's taken. And she's like, well, I don't care. I see that and I want that and I'm going to get that. And I'm not taking no for an answer. It doesn't matter what has to happen because I'm going to get what I want. That could be the toxicity we're seeing here. It's tied directly to the Lovers. I would assume it's toxic connection here. Also, a connection that you probably feel like you can't break free from. Notice the people here on this card are the same people from the Lovers, but they have chains around their neck and they're chained to the podium the devil sits on. But they've been in this distorted energy for so long that it's distorting who they are. They've grown horns and tails. It's changing who they are, being in a connection with this person. And it's probably done that to you on some level. Next we have the Chariot, Cancer's major arcana card. I'm feeling it again. I'm sorry, I promise I'm not tired. I've had 2 cups of coffee. I have attention deficit disorder, so I have a prescription for Adderall. I've taken Adderall, which is amphetamines. I'm not tired at all, but it is draining the shit out of me here. At its core, this is the fastest moving energy in the deck when the driver is in alignment. If all pieces of this person are not pulling in the same direction, that means he's out of alignment. And when the driver is out of alignment, because there are no reins that connect him to the beasts that pull the chariot, he uses sheer will alone to power this, to steer this. And if he's not in alignment, he can't do that. And this thing won't be the fastest energy in the deck. It'll be every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man. Another way to look at that is if the dark shadow side of him is pulling one way and the other side of him is pulling a different way, which we see the dark shadow side right here in the card that came right before it. And we see right here as his very first clarifier. I shouldn't say he. This could very easily be a woman and you could be a man, or you could be a woman and this could be a woman, or whatever. I'm just saying he because it feels like a he to me. You can see they're pulling in opposite directions here. Now, this could indicate that they're pulling one way because they want one thing and you want something different and you're pulling that way. But this really feels like internal conflict for them. And it feels like they are out of alignment here and things are pulling in opposite directions for them based on this internal under the surface in the shadows type of negativity, like toxic energy, some painful thing that they went through that they never healed, or some piece of themselves that they don't like, or just some urges and desires that control them that they don't have control over. There's something off with them, something out of balance with them where they're pulling themselves in different directions, and this will tear this chariot apart as it moves forward, which is what it looks like has happened to the two of you. There's definitely a plan for the future here in terms of moving forward. This can also just represent getting in the chariot and getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm out, and I'm out super fast. Very next card is another super fast moving energy, the Knight of Swords. This is rushing forward and taking some rapid, decisive action on something. This is not the person who comes rushing in super fast and sits down to read the instruction manual to figure out what to do now. This is the person who just comes rushing in and does it, like very spontaneous, like spur of the moment, abrupt kind of an energy, impulsive kind of an energy. This is the person who rushes in and does it, and then they're out. They didn't think about it first. They don't think about it while they're doing it. They don't think about it until it's too late and it's already done. That is sitting directly next to the Queen of Wands, and notice how they're running directly at the Queen of Wands here. Very spur of the moment. This Page of Pentacles that's right above the Queen of Wands is news and messages and communications about some physical opportunity presenting itself. Physical opportunity with this person shows up and they're boom, bat out of hell going right for it. When I read this in rows, I've done that for you the whole way down this column. I can't do that here because there's literally nothing beside you. Their energy stops with this, I've done made up my mind, boom, I'm gone, see ya, I'm out, I'm doing this Queen of Wands thing. And then you're left here with a void beside you, with a gap beside you. When I follow that all the way across, the very first card I come to, you have a card just like this in your energy where there's nothing in the row with it. I've got 2 cards back for you that way, but it's direct. This empty void next to the Queen of Pentacles is right here next to this 7 of Cups. Confusion, emotional confusion, clouded vision, clouded stuff in front of you that's obscured your vision and you can't see what to do at a time when you were working together as equals with this person. Final card for your person, Gemini. Justice, Knight of Swords. We just talked about the Knight of Swords. Don't think about it first. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. Like very spontaneous, abrupt, kind of fast-moving energy that looks like it rushes towards the Queen of Wands. And this Justice card, Libra, Major Arcana energy, of something unfair and unjust has occurred that requires being balanced out. Tell me more about justice in the Knight of Swords, please. Why is that here? It's the last card for Gemini's person in May 2023. Taking that one. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. That's the unfair thing. That's the thing they rushed forward toward, birthing something new with this Queen of Wands. That's why the Queen of Wands is showing up as the mutual point of interest between the two of you. That was their point of interest, and she has affected your life and your connection here by birthing something new. Look, there's the decision that needs made that isn't being made. This decision, like I saw the card of like, I know what I'm supposed to do, I'm just not doing it. What they were supposed to do was make a decision here. Like, people break up sometimes. It happens. What you're supposed to do is you break up with the person that you're with, and then you get into a new connection. You don't start the new connection while you're still with the other person and you haven't broken up with them yet. That was the decision that they didn't make. The Moon. Secrets being kept. Something being hidden in the dark. They didn't want you to know about that. They didn't want you to know about the Ace of Wands, the passionate new beginning, the phallic symbol, sexual energy, sex. You can't make it up. You've seen me shuffle this, right? Like, I've shuffled it a bunch. And here we are with the same cards again. Lying, cheating, deceptive behavior, sneaking around behind your back, trying to get away with something that they shouldn't be trying to get away with. I have the distinct impression that this person was keeping it from you because they want their cake and eat it too. Like, well, why would I tell you? Because then that would end things, and then I don't have two. Then I've only got one again, and I would prefer to have two. Son of a bitch, you can't make this up. Clarifying this justice in the Knight of Swords, the Emperor, the Nine of Cups, Four of Wands, Eight of Wands. The Emperor. Aries Major Arcana energy. God, this person is draining me. This is an energy of taking control, taking charge of a situation. He's a master manifester energy, so he's got all the tools and resources to put together a plan to get what he wants and then execute that plan to get what he wants. I've got two cards in your person's energy referencing a plan. This is representative of all four kings of all four suits combined into one person. The Empress is the counterpart to that. All four queens combined into one person. Your person has got this mentality of, this is my counterpart, with this person that they were hiding from you, starting a passionate new beginning with, birthing something new with, sneaking around behind your back. Oh my goodness. If you look at the emperors from ancient Rome as an example, like, dude, sometimes the emperor is great energy. Sometimes it's really negative because it can go from being an in control energy to being controlling. You look at the emperors of ancient Rome, they didn't really care about anything other than what they wanted. They didn't care how many soldiers died as long as they could conquer that neighboring place and conquer the whole thing and take all the loot for themselves and put their face on some statues. It's totally fine if you guys die. It's totally fine if a bunch of our women have dead husbands and a bunch of our kids have dead dads. I don't care as long as I get what I want. That's sitting right next to the devil. There's two control energies in the tarot deck. This is both of them. This is not a person who's actually in control as much as they're being controlled by something else inside of themselves, and they use we see the King of Swords a couple of times for them. They use their conscious, rational mind to rationalize what's going on and make excuses for it. And it's not me, it's something outside of myself that I'm trying to present myself as being in control of everything when I'm not. But this is a person who did unfair, unjust stuff and birthed something new because that's what they wanted to do. Nine of Cups is the next clarifier. This is Pisces energy. This is a singles energy. If I follow this down far enough in the shared energy, we eventually run into that 10 of Cups, where we're in this happy fairy tale love connection, and we're combined together in the emotional sense of things. We're even combined together here in the physical sense of things. But this is a step backwards from that 10 of Cups. This is being by myself emotionally single. This is someone who is very much concerned with their own personal happiness and their own personal wish fulfillment ahead of what's best for us, ahead of what's best for you and how you feel and what you're happy about and what you want. I'm much more concerned with me and me and me and myself and I, and then me some more. This can be a very smug person. This can be a very self-centered person. It can be someone who's overindulgent in things, especially when I've got the devil out here. This can be someone with an addiction or an alcohol problem or a drug problem. This could just be somebody who's got a problem with the wand and a problem with being too lovey here, and the lack of a better way to put it, like constantly wanting the new piece of ass. Somebody who's much more interested in themselves than you. Four of Wands. Fours are about stability. This is stability of the home, stability of the family, stability of the connection between the two of you. These four wands also represent 1111, which is the number of manifesting. I just got done telling you that the Emperor is a master manifester kind of an energy. This is a celebration card of the thing that I've been trying to manifest is actually here in the physical reality, and I can celebrate the fact that it's here. This stuff happened during a time when there was a stable connection between the two of you, or at least you felt like there was, and from all outward appearances, it appeared to be stable. But it wasn't, because in that stability, there's this rushing forward very abruptly and decisively towards this Queen of Wands. It's all right here in the same row. And son of a bitch, the final card is the Eight of Wands. That was central to your energy over here. It completes the row that you are left by yourself in. Between you and this Eight of Wands is nothing. There's a void. There's an empty space. This is overwhelming amount of energy. This is very fast moving energy again. I have got literally the three fastest energies in tarot in your person's energy. The Chariot is the fastest. The Eight of Wands is the second fastest. The Knight of Swords is the third fastest. And I have that in both decks that I'm using for your person. Your person very, very abruptly did all of this stuff. Very quickly changed everything between the two of you, which is why you're experiencing this feeling of being overwhelmed and going through such a difficult situation where it's requiring all your internal strength to make it through it. It's why you're trapped in fear, worry, and anxiety and not wanting to see what's in front of you, because of course you don't want this to be true, but it is true. And in this last row of cards, the only thing here is you, an empty void, and you being overwhelmed. Now, if you still have questions about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. When you do, you'll be taken to more Gemini love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your particular situation. And I'll see you in the next video.